Hey guys, welcome to our podcast. Today we are
Talking about the future.
heck yeah. Let's get right into it, I guess.
Well, we could always talk about how the Earth is literally dying at the moment.
Oh yeah, and how we have 10 years left, that's scary.
No big deal.
Hey, but Canada's putting a ban on plastics in 3 years.
3 years.
Yo, let's just wait 3 years. Anyways, that's interesting.
I mean, it's interesting, but I don't know if it's gonna really stop a lot of things, because McDonald's a while ago was like, oh, we're gonna help the Earth and we're gonna put cardboard straws. And then people were like, no, we don't like that. So then they went back to plastic.
Wow, that lasted literally a week.
Literally a week, literally a month, and then they were like, you know what? We're done.
Okay, how do you think the world is gonna look in the future? Let's say 20 years.
20 years? If we survive. Ooh. 20 years in the future, I think technology is gonna surpass us quite a bit, because it's still right
What if
now.
it's like Detroit Become Human?
Stop that!
I love Connor.
Stop. We're talking about the future.
Connor is the future.
You're an idiot. Okay, but I think technology's gonna surpass us in some kind of way. And we already have one robot citizen. What happens if we get more?
Are we talking about Sophia?
Sophia.
I love Sophia. She's so
Sophia is
sassy.
great.
I'm afraid of artificial intelligence.
But you love Sophia.
Shut up. But I'm still scared of her.
I remember a while ago she was like, I want a baby, and someone was like, oh, get her a wig first.
Oh, that's so mean.
Obviously there's gonna be some sort of artificial intelligence that's gonna end up taking lots of people's jobs and everything. Money problems are gonna skyrocket, obviously.
Okay, the economy's never going to be stable, which is understand.
You should just understand that, and that we're done for.
Yeah, basically. Anyways, so what do you think the world's going to look like in general? Do you think it's going to be gross looking?
Honestly,
or do you think we're going to improve?
We're gonna have lots of technology. We're gonna try, but the Earth and the ecosystem and everything else is just gonna be garbage. And
yeah.
we're probably never gonna be able to leave our homes.
No, I don't think we are, because the economy,
The economy. The ecosystem is getting already so bad. We're not gonna have any animals left because they're all being extinct.
We're gonna have squirrels. They're always here. They're never gonna leave.
They're never gonna leave. They're gonna become robot squirrels.
No, don't talk about that.
Ooh.
Ew.
But it's super weird. We're gonna end up being VR is gonna be a really big thing in the future, for video games. People are probably gonna be so into going into these alternate realities that we're not gonna like the real world, and we're gonna just
Yeah, let's just stay in our VR headsets where everything's pretty, right?
yeah.
So you
Where
think
we actually feel more
at home,
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah, I understand
alive.
that. I think that maybe we're gonna keep trying to get our world to come back, and we'll keep trying, but it's always gonna fail. You know what? Why don't we just do the thing they did in Futurama? Just get a giant rocket, put a bunch of garbage on it, and just send it out.
Send it away.
When I was young, and I still think this sometimes, I think, why don't we just get a giant fan, literally the size of I don't know, America, and just blow around the earth to get all the pollution away. just blow it out of our atmosphere.
What about all the homes and the people that get blown in the atmosphere?
They're fine. They're
fine.
okay. They'll live.
They'll live. Come on.
It's not
They're putting civilizations on Mars right now. We're gonna mess up Mars more than it already is.
Yeah, we're gonna reverse our planet and just go to the next one.
Who do we think we are? Britons?
That comes to our next question. What do you think humanity is going to be like in the future world?
Oh my god. it's gonna be so split because of our past generations, because there's so many kids out there that are like, save the world, please, we need to live in this world. But there's also so many kids they're influenced by the older generations, like, hey, nah, screw everything else, me first, and then
The entitled people.
the entitled people.
Oh, I hate them so much.
But, like, why did they do that? Like, save the earth, be kind to other people. We don't need to sit there and go, haha, screw you, screw the earth.
Exactly, which I don't understand in general why you can't just cut down sometimes. Like, you've seen the video of Bill Nye putting a globe on fire, right?
Like, literally the earth is on fire.
Yeah, literally the earth is on fire. Like, California, what are you doing? Alberta, what are you doing? And
Like, it's gonna be the hottest summer in like ever in Canada this summer, and like that's not supposed to happen.
I'm not ready.
Like, it's not supposed to happen. It's supposed to be snowy like 7 months of the year. Like, what's going on?
Let's just move to Yukon.
Just move away.
Yeah, let's just get out of Ontario, you know.
I don't want to go to America or anywhere else.
I don't want to go to America. I just want to get out of Ontario. This is off subject. Anyways, so in general, what do you think? How do you think we're gonna interact with each other?
I honestly think there's not gonna be hardly any interaction unless it's online. I think online interaction is gonna be the biggest thing.
Well, it already is.
Yeah, but like I think like since people are already buying stuff online, people are buying like groceries online and everything, like that's crazy. That like we're gonna have so little human interaction that like even repopulating Earth is gonna be a struggle because people don't want to talk to each other in real
They don't
life.
want babies.
They don't want babies.
Speaking
either.
of population, our population is gonna go down when all the baby boomers die. I'm not saying that as like a bad thing because
There's
is it a bad
lot
thing?
of them.
I don't want to sound bad. I'm just saying they were a big population because they were the boom, right?
Mhm.
But they're starting to get older and they're starting to die, I guess.
Mhm.
I don't want to be disrespectful, but you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
And then like our generation doesn't want to have kids. I don't want to have kids. You don't want to have kids.
Yeah, like the whole thing about it is like our Earth is also so overpopulated that all these food companies think they need to make so much food, and then they just do horrible things to the environment and to all these animals and everything. And they're like, well, who cares? Like, we need to make money. Who cares about how the environment and other people? We need to make money. And I'm like, I mean, you could not do that. Money isn't the most important thing in the world. The world is.
I mean, without the world, money is basically useless.
Basically, yeah.
So I think that what we need to survive is gonna be like basically money and shit. Well, obviously you need money to survive, but we're gonna need more of it and more of it. And
I feel like we should just like whole Robin Hood thing, take from the rich and give to the poor, and everyone needs to be equal because we're all dying.
yeah, everyone needs to be equal, but that's why communism is the best solution now, isn't
Stop!
it? But it is. I mean, kind of. Not really. It's,
Not really.
if you do it right,
If you do it right.
Mars is gonna be a communist society.
Well, the whole thing about it is that what we really need to do on Mars is we don't need a money system that much. Like, if we all just lived together and we had someone farm, like, and we had someone build, we had someone, like, do all this other stuff, then there could be a small money system, but it doesn't need to grow that much. Because, like, people still need to afford houses from people who do build, and those people who do build need to afford food from the people who farm, and the people who farm need to afford, like, growth, like, probably someone who makes clothes, and this big cycle. So why would one person who's able to make all these things, or none of these things go, I decide how much you give me, since I'm making this, you have to give me $50 instead of $10 because I want more money, because I want more things. We don't really need more things.
Okay, the one thing that I liked in that one Black Mirror episode, what was it? with the guy. He was on stage with the knife, or not knife, the
Oh,
glass.
yeah.
I liked what he said. Is like all we need is more stuff to make us happy. Get out of here. But yeah, I got that because you don't need stuff. Like
We don't need things to make us happy. Like
unless
if
it's a
we-
puppy or a cat. I'm saying that animals make us happy, and they do.
Yes. Well, we really need like things to make us happy. Like we don't need 30 cantaloupes to make us happy.
Oh my
It might feed us, but we don't need 30 of them. We can give some to the people who are hungry. It'll make them happy. So like we don't need to be selfish and go, haha, I have 30 cantaloupes and you don't.
I like your thing, which does bring me to our next subject: reflection of our world. So we have social issues today that might progress in the future. Do you think they'll go downhill or uphill?
Well, the whole thing about it is that the younger people are trying so hard to make it go uphill. They're trying to be happy, they're trying to make the world a better place, they're trying. But it's what past generations have done. So much of the economy, the world and everything that's making it go downhill. So it's kind of an iffy situation. Don't you agree?
Yeah, one thing I don't understand, which is maybe because it's just the way I was raised, is how unaccepting literally any human was in the past. Like,
Exactly.
oh my god, you're black. That was in the 1930s. And then now or I guess more 40 years in the future, it's like, oh my god, you're gay. It's like, oh my god, what a big problem. And then I guess we're getting more into trans?
Yeah, well, I don't know why, like, all of a sudden, all the people who were accepted, like, finally they're accepted. Now that's like, oh yeah, we're going back, you're not accepted anymore. Like,
What the-
why?
I personally I was just raised to accept anyone who they are, because if that's who you want to be, then that's who you want to be. If that's who you are, then that's who you are. You can't change that, and I'm not going to change it.
Something bad, like you're a pedophile.
Okay, unless you're a pedophile, then stop. But
Unless you're doing something very illegal and very nasty.
okay, I'm not telling you to go do drugs. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Just be who you are. And I think maybe we're gonna go uphill in the future because I'm seeing less and less of these unaccepting people.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember when my mom first got into this, she was like, oh, that's kind of weird. She was very confused about, gay people and like their sexualities. And then I explained to her that I had a few friends that were like that, and she still didn't understand. And I showed her some videos and I explained to her more, and she did understand a lot. And she's like, oh, okay, I guess.
Like, the whole people who don't like it just don't understand it. And younger people, that's one of our flaws. We just get mad that they don't understand it.
Yeah.
And I think we need to change that. I think we need to make them understand, like make them be more involved with it, like better understand why. But then there is some people out there who do understand and everything and still hate it, and that's wrong.
I think we need to help them understand in their own way.
Mhm.
Like, no one's gonna understand because their son comes out, or their daughter comes out, or them comes out. But if we try to find a way for them to listen to the youth, maybe they'll find their own way of accepting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we need to take baby steps, I guess. We have been taking baby steps. We should be further in the future, but it's fine.
It's fine. It'll happen. Probably.
So our vision of the future, we're seeing this as like a kind of wasteland where we're all in virtual reality with a bunch of internet online people, right?
Yeah.
The reflection of our world is we're seeing it as more accepting and more unaccepting. It's basically it's black and white, right?
Yeah, the whole future is a whole black and white thing, and it's heavily set on our younger generation right now, because even the older generation is starting to die off. Not like, yeah, but it's true. It's happening.
Well, yeah, it's just the life cycle.
It's just a life cycle.
Like, I'm gonna die one day.
Yeah, everyone's gonna die one day. But like, the whole thing about it is like, we just need to teach our younger generation that
Fortnite is terrible.
Fortnite is terrible. Well, that we need to be more accepting of people, and that we need to be more humble, and we need to enjoy the earth, basically, because like we live here, we only have one earth. Like it's not like, oh no, we ruined everything, we can fix it.
Technically 3 galaxies away, they did find another candidate for an Earth-like service.
Galaxies away.
Okay,
we're not gonna survive.
That's only 6,000 light years away.
Light years.
Anyways, yeah. So is our vision of the future entertaining? Or, I guess...
Our vision of the future is wild. But
do you like it?
I'm not quite sure if I like it or not because I still don't know anything about the future. What I think of the future, like, I kind of like it with the more accepting part and the more trying to take our situation of the earth more seriously. The whole thing about the future is really a black and white situation, like you said, where anything could happen.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I've put in a lot of my, I guess, artwork and stuff. I don't want to bring it into this, but I just want to use it as an example. I'm using an example that they do in California where they now have, like, they have farms on the roof or something, and they have trees on the roof. That's what I'm adding into a bunch of my futuristic comics, where it's like a mix of park and then city, and then park and then city, and they have to have a mix. And you have to have these certain lights in your house, and you have to have the certain places, and basically no one really lives in a house anymore.
It has to all be eco-friendly.
Yeah, it has to be all be eco-friendly. It's like you're not allowed.
Eco-friendly things can be futuristic.
Yeah.
Because I believe eco-friendly things is the future.
Yeah, me too. Because, oh yeah, the documentary I watched. Apparently, these guys want to make these solar batteries, and we'd only need 100 around all North America or Canada. Yeah, just all North America to do all our people, like
to power everything.
Yeah, just to supply all our people. All we need is 100 of these factories, which is like not a lot, but that's all we need.
Probably small, right?
Yeah, they're not that big. They're probably about the size of a warehouse factory, and they don't do any pollution.
They don't pollute. They don't probably produce anything that's bad for the environment. And they're
just rechargeable giant batteries for your house, basically. And you can put them on top of your roof and use the sun. We can use our biggest battery, which is literally the sun.
Literally, one of the biggest things that people should be using is solar power, too.
Solar power and wind power.
We need to use eco-friendly things. We should stop using oils. We should stop using fossil fuels. We should, stop using gas.
Yeah, that's why they put carbon tax, which I don't like the word,
it's kind of hard
that's
with the carbon tax right now because so many people have these cars. If we start making cheaper cars, eco-friendly cheaper cars, like what Tesla's doing, more people should buy them. They're fancy, they're all futuristic, but they're the same amount as a normal car, and they're eco-friendly.
Yeah, what's wrong with eco-friendly? Everyone just sees it.
The factories that Tesla's made in, they're all eco-friendly. They don't produce any smoke, they don't produce any exhaust, nothing. And I feel like that those are the cars of the future. And it should be looked into more. Because cars are one of the biggest polluters in the world.
Cars and giant-ass factories.
Yes, we should stop that too. What happened with the tire factory?
A while ago.
And how no one could leave their houses because
it was so toxic and
it was so toxic.
The air was. I smelled it from my apartment, and I live across the town from it.
Yeah, and but that's what people working there have to smell every single day, and they're in that every single day,
which kills your brain cells.
So bad for you. People could die. People could die.
Yeah, my mom works right across the street from it, and I just kind of yelled at her not to go to work, and she's like, "But I gotta." She ended up not going to work because, they told her not to.
It's on fire.
Yeah, no, it's not on fire. It's just beside the place that was on fire.
But, the whole thing about the tire factory is that people who work there, they have to suffer through that every single day for these crappy minimum wage jobs. People shouldn't have to suffer through, toxic air every single day to make $14 an hour.
Hold up. Are we getting into the jobs?
We can get into the jobs.
All right. let's talk about the jobs. Oh my God, they're so broken.
Literally, people who make minimum wage, it's not a living wage anymore.
No, it's not. Our economy is just messed up. Like we can't live on minimum wage. Our houses are too expensive. Apartments are too expensive now.
Yeah.
I've looked at them. A one bedroom is $1,300. How is one person gonna pay for that?
Especially when they make $14 an hour, and then their jobs are like, oh, I'm gonna give you crap hours, and then I'm gonna fire you in 3 months.
Yeah, like what even is that? What is that? How is our generation gonna go with that? Like we are in a job crisis right now.
The whole thing about it is like the only way most people can survive when they move out of their parents' house now is like moving in an apartment with 7 other people in a small apartment.
Yeah, it's
and they
terrible.
all have minimum wage jobs, and some of them get fired, and then they can't pay their rent, and then they just are back in the streets. Like more and more people are gonna go homeless, and more people like are gonna die because of it. Like they can't live like this.
The thing is I have like a hard time seeing how we're gonna fix it as well, because we have so many people here, and we want to shut down factories because they pollute too much. But if we shut down factories, that's taking more people out of work. But it's just so messed up.
Our economy is so messed up. Because the whole thing about it is that our government just lies to us all the time, because they're like, oh, we're fixing it, but they don't do anything. And I think that's unfair. I think that they should fix it. I think that all these people who can't afford to live are gonna get angrier, they're gonna get like sicker, they're gonna get like everything. Like there's so much wrong with it.
Alright, back to our original subject.
Ooh.
Is our vision of the future realistic? Do you think that it's what we see, or do you think that we don't really know?
Well, I think we don't really know, but it could be a real, like it could be real because anything could happen. Like it's hard to say if it's realistic or not, because I believe our version could be realistic. It could be real. It could happen.
Yeah, I believe it
because of how everything is going on with our world. I'm sure Mr. Edwards didn't think this would be political, but sorry.
Hello, Mr. Edwards.
It's political.
Wait, did he tell us not to get political?
Too bad.
Wait, he told us not to?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, we're getting political, Mr. Edwards. How do you feel about that?
But like the whole thing about it is like it could be real, because half of the world could be rich and could be living wherever they are, and half the world could be like it is now. More than half the world is poor and is living through pollution, is living through everything, and it's gonna get worse. It's gonna get so much worse. But all this new technology is gonna come out and be like, oh, we're helping save the earth and everything. But like it's just gonna get worse and worse. Like, you know, all those like futuristic movies, but the world's all in shambles, but they have this like great technology and everything.
Yeah.
Like that could be our world.
You know what? I don't doubt it at this point. There's so many movies about it too. Why don't we just have an apocalypse and just take out half the people? Or Thanos can come.
Or Thanos. Hurry up, Thanos. Snap it away. Stop!
Anyways, so I believe our future vision of futures is gonna work. Maybe. I don't know. It's very unpredictable. We're very unpredictable.
Everything is very unpredictable. One day, someone could be like, you know what? I have billions of dollars. I'm gonna fix everything. And then he could spend 16, 15 years to even fix a quarter of it. And even a quarter of it could like help, but then we still need all this time to fix it. And he could spend more billions and billions of dollars, and it could help. Like people need to figure this out, that they need to help.
Yeah, okay, that's the thing. It's like people with money, they need to help. They can't just sit there with their money anymore.
Yeah,
they can't be rich because they want to be. It's because we need help. If poor people can't put as much money into it as they want to, but the rich economy needs to step up their game a little, you know? Put in some money into something that matters. You don't need a new boat. You don't need a new, I don't know,
But like all these
mansion.
rich people, like, I can buy whatever I want. I can go wherever I want. If you can buy a boat, but you can't go in the water, why would you buy a boat? if you want to go away, but you can't go to a certain country because it's uninhabitable, why would you go? If you want to do all these things, you want to go to those countries, why wouldn't you help the world? So then your kids, your grandkids will be able to do all this stuff.
That's true.
Because, like, all these rich people are like, oh, I want to go to Cuba. Like, oh, but you can't go to Cuba because it's inhabitable. The air is so toxic. Everyone had to move out. Like, oh, well, then I'll go to India. I'm like, oh, you can't go to India because there was a bomb and everything is so, like...
Ooh, let's not get into terrorism.
I won't get into terrorism.
I would go for too long.
It's like war or something, I don't know. Like, something happened and it's toxic there also. You can't go there. It's like, well, I want to go to Britain. It's like, well, you can't go there. Toxic, garbage everywhere. Like, it's awful and, like, they should fix it.
Yeah, I agree. So, in the end, I believe our future is going to be unpredictable, but in our vision, we see it as a future with people using a lot of future technology like, what's it called? VR. Of course, lots of VR, lots of social chats. The world's gonna be less and less habitable, I guess. And we're gonna refuse our only eco-friendly options because we're stubborn as a race. And,
Whatever, because screw them kids, I guess. Ha ha ha.
Anyways, thank you for listening to our podcast. We have tried our best on here, and I believe it was pretty good. Oh my god, we went for so long. Anyways.
Almost half an hour.